viewers, welcome back to my channel WahWoman. This is your friend and host Rajni Vohra, and it's time to meet a very special guest. But before that, something about her. She's a multifaceted personality and wears many hats. She's innovator, collaborator, entrepreneur, engineer, and curator of eco-civilization. Her endeavors are directed to improve quality of life for people in the European Union. We are very honored to have with us former European Commissioner for Transport and former Deputy Prime Minister of Slovenia. Guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome this wonderful person, Violeta Bulcs.
Hello, everyone. Hello, and thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you.
Ma'am, it is indeed our pleasure to have you on our show, and we are truly honored to have you on our channel today. So thank you so much. We wholeheartedly welcome you on our show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So ma'am, let's start our conversation. And yesterday when I was looking at your life journey, your entrepreneurial journey, I was thinking to ask this question, that you started your entrepreneurial journey from being a network performance analyst and reaching the point when you became Deputy Prime Minister of Slovenia. And from there, European Commissioner for Transport. Which phase of your journey was most learning experience for you? I know it is a very difficult question to answer because every phase is something us to learn. Yes.
Well, in one hand, I agree with you. It's a difficult question because there is so many little things that at the end come together and deliver some results. But if anything, all this diversified path has taught me, I learned on it, that people matter, relationship matter, knowledge matter, the positive character and attitude towards life and towards new opportunities matter.
Mm-hmm.
And curiosity is an incredibly powerful tool.
Yeah.
And then once you put all this together, you can be just amazed what comes out of it. Yeah. So I'm not in no way any special type of person, but I always was available to the course of the events. So my curiosity would always push me towards a new opportunity. And when the conditions were right, I did not hesitate to seize that opportunity.
Right.
So I would invite everyone just to walk around with an open mind, open heart, and open eyes. And always think about collaboration, always think about networks, always think about how can we together deliver something better, something fresh, new. And I think that's what at least was the driving force on my journey. And then when I look back, I say, wow, look what this journey brought to my life. But as I said, I was just a normal person, and I still am.
Indeed. So ma'am, you are currently curator of the emerging eco-civilization. Would you like to discuss any related project which you feel is very close to your heart?
Yes, that is true. And that does need a little bit of introduction.
Okay.
Since I entered the studies at the university, I really got almost passionately interested in how the systems work. So system thinking, any kind of system solutions, behavior of systems, and the experiences that I had as an engineer and later on as an entrepreneur and a businesswoman, I realized that businesses have their own life cycle. They're an organism on its own. So they have their character, they have their history, they have their future, they have their resilience, and they have also the entropy and syntropy, which are constantly playing with each other within those systems. So that became my very close subject of observation as an entrepreneur. I started to develop different models in order to assess in what kind of development stage a certain company that I work with as a consultant was, because I soon realized that you can have an excellent tool, you can have an excellent solution, but it really depends on the life journey in which the company is, not only people and individuals, but the company itself. It will depend if a certain tool will work for that company or not. That's how the rhythms of business evolution emerged, and in few days I will share an English version of my book, Rhythms of Business Evolution, which will be for free, because I just want to share of my experiences and these insights in the behavior of organizations and systems as a whole. And I've been paid as a consultant, so I think this is my duty to give back to all people around the world, that they can really capitalize on similar insights that I was privileged to develop and see. So that kind of naturally then led me to think also in a more paradigm concepts. And in 2013, I already got across, as being a member of International Systems Society, across the concept of new emerging eco-civilization, but nobody was really concrete about it. And while being a politician, that started to become clearer and clearer to me, that we are reaching in the current society some sort of level of decadency that is calling for something fresh and new. We are reaching the point where all of a sudden the tools became goals. I mean, that could not be more devastating for society than that fact itself. And as a politician, you can really see that, firsthand. All of a sudden, we worry more about stock exchange than about people and the society and planet and nature and our collective awareness and knowledge and consciousness. You know that there must be something else. So that's how the thoughts started to collaborate, and new thoughts emerged and new models started to emerge, especially now during the Corona crisis. I had probably the first time in my life a really time to just sit and think and or feel or allow the thoughts to emerge. And that's how the models of eco-civilization came about. And I tell you at the end that I'm really positively surprised and encouraged by responses from all over the world, from all kinds of professionals, different target groups. Whichever conference I have a privilege to share these thoughts and models with, or webinars or sessions, people say, wow, there might be something. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just inviting people to even start engaging over this topic. So thank you for the question. I do believe that we are at the beginning of a new civilizational paradigm where relationships, especially those on a quantum level or even beyond, being expressed in a law of physics that we are not even aware of yet today, they will be the dominating enablers of sustainable development in the next eco-civilization.
Yes, ma'am, indeed. So, ma'am, as you have been very, very closely associated with the mobility and transportation projects and issues also, and there is indeed no doubt that women in this profession face various challenges when it comes to mobility, whether it is inclusion, safety, accessibility, or even entering the workforce in a transport sector, because generally people have hesitation accepting women in this profession. So, ma'am, during your term at the EU Commission, what seemed like the most challenging aspect to deal?
Well, let me say that one big challenge for any society is to set the right goal that is transformative. So I was privileged to be part of the Commission's team, where President Juncker at the time put a very ambitious goal ahead of us. When we joined the Commission, there were only 21% of women on the top leading positions within the Commission structures. And in 5 years' time, we got beyond our initial goal, which was 41%. We reached 43% of having women on the top positions in the commission. I mean, if that is possible, that anything is possible. Yeah. So all the portfolios then engage not only within our own organizational structures, but also within our portfolios. So women in transport became one of the key sort of guiding principles and objectives to create a change, to create a shift during my mandate. And I think we managed to do it. At least we started the process. We brought awareness to the topic. We started to have yearly conferences. We had ambassadors of diversity, started to award the best projects, shared them, created a platform on web for women in transport where good stories could be shared. But of course, this is still very male-dominating profession. So we faced organizations and people, and especially women who enter these professions, are faced with the very basic challenges. For example, infrastructure. You know, having toilets because, or having showers, having some privacy, because all these offices or these facilities infrastructure was designed for men because they were no women.
They never thought of that there would be a day when women would also start entering. Yeah.
Exactly. So we had to start talking to companies and encourage them that they take care of the basic infrastructure in order to attract women. Yes. But there was a very good motivating factor that came along, which we learned about while we were walking this path, that when the conditions were created good for women, youth came on board. Yes. Young people also started to come on board, because that was another challenge of transport, is that there was aging workforce. So that was a good motivation for companies, in addition to having a gender balanced and more balanced solutions and better work conditions and sort of atmosphere, is that to get young people on board as well. Right. And maybe I can share another benefit. It's I prefer to share benefits than obstacles, but sure. Because they are the motivating factor. For example, one Swedish company started to favor female drivers. Female drivers. Why? First of all, they took a better care of the truck, like a baby. They had less accidents. They had less repairs. They used less gas or any kind of consumption, energy today, because they were more steady drivers. And at the top of everything, which was really interesting, they had a better customer relationship. So they brought a more quality information back to the company. When that was that became known, all of a sudden, colleagues started to change too, male colleagues. So the company benefited twice. So they had a better work balance and environment. And at the same time, they were men and women, they were stimulating each other to improve in different areas. So you see, you cannot lose if you have a gender balanced teams.
Right, indeed. And ma'am, a few minutes back, you were discussing about these unprecedented times, COVID times, and you find a silver lining even during this tough time. So ma'am, what message would you like to give to all viewers during these tough times, COVID times?
Well, whenever a big crisis or challenge come into my way, I always try to take 100 years or 1,000 years perspective. So first of all, this kind of crises are nothing new to any kind of civilization, in any kind of generation. There is always some sort of challenge on health-wise, because we coexist in natural ecosystems where there are microbes and bacteria and viruses everywhere around us. So time to time, there comes one that our immune system is not prepared for. So I think we have to, I know it's very tragic for many people, but the societies have to take this with a bit more stamina and responsibility. We know about that. So we became a bit decadent. We started to feel too comfortable with everything, you know, instead of being prepared also for situations that we've known in the last 40,000 years since humans exist on this earth. We have a trace of this kind of situation. So I hope that this one will really push us to the point that we will be ready. No matter what comes, we have to be ready for this kind of crisis. But I'd like to invite everyone not to see that all the solution is only in vaccination. That is one of the three solutions. The other two are equally important, and they can help us to be more resilient and to react with a more how should I say, with a more stable, in a more stable way, not with a panic. Yeah? So that is to keep our immune system healthy.
Yes.
You know, to really make sure we eat well, we eat healthy food, we eat rich food, eco food possibly, yeah, and that will give our body, and balanced food, that will give our body enough strength that it can fight this kind of disease whenever they appear, and resist. The second one is also preventive care, that we wash our hands, that we use masks when it's necessary, that we use disinfections wherever it's necessary, and again, prevent virus from spreading too fast and to have a more controlled environment. And of course, the last but not least is the vaccination. But vaccination, the problem is that all these viruses are mutating all the time. So we need to be very cautious how and how much we invest in a certain type of drug, because it might be too old by the time, or unuseful by the time it's developed. So this needs a bit of rationality, not just panic. But I'm sure we will address this virus well. We will find a solution, and let's not ever forget this experience, and make sure that we're always ready for similar situation when they appear in the future.
Right, right, ma'am. Thank you so much for having such a wonderful conversation with us. And thank you so much for giving us so much insight into your entrepreneurial journey and your work. We wish you all the best for your all future endeavors and projects. And once again, thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
It's been such a pleasure, and thank you very much for the opportunity. And I wish all the best to you, to your audience, and to all people of goodwill, because the world needs positive, very bright, and very inclusive future. So thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.